Hello, my name is Hunter Torgerson, and I am going to share my Capstone project with you. The title of my research is Comparing the Effectiveness of Child-Centered Play Therapy and Cognitive Behavioral Play Therapy in Improving Attachment Security in Preschool Children who have faced relational trauma. I chose this topic because of the need to support children affected by relational trauma. Relational trauma, which occurs when harm is inflicted by someone the child depends on, disrupts early attachments and creates long-term challenges in emotional regulation, social interactions, and overall mental health. Addressing these challenges early is crucial, and the research explores two play therapy approaches to determine their effectiveness. The research question was, is child-centered play therapy or cognitive behavioral play therapy more effective in improving attachment security in preschool children who have faced relational trauma? The question is critical for therapists working with children impacted by relational trauma, as the success of therapy depends on choosing the right approach for the child. Understanding these two modalities and their respective strengths provides valuable guidance for tailoring therapy to the unique needs of each individual child. Relational trauma differs from other types of trauma because it involves repeated harm caused by a trusted caregiver. Examples include neglect, abuse, and emotional maltreatment. Unlike a single traumatic event, relational trauma occurs within the context of an ongoing relationship, making its impact on attachment particularly important. Attachment theory, first introduced by John Bowlby, explains how early relationships with caregivers shape a child's ability to form bonds and manage emotions. When caregivers consistently meet a child's needs, the child develops a secure attachment. However, in cases of relational trauma, caregivers may neglect or harm the child, resulting in insecure attachment styles or even disorders. My capstone focused on two therapeutic approaches to address these challenges: child-centered play therapy and cognitive behavioral play therapy. Each method offers unique strategies to help children rebuild secure attachments. Child-centered play therapy is a non-directive approach. In this therapy, the child takes the lead during sessions, choosing activities and directing the play. The therapist's role is to create a safe, accepting space where the child feels supported. Child-centered play therapy is grounded in Carl Rogers' person-centered theory, emphasizing empathy, unconditional positive regard, and genuineness. Research shows that child-centered play therapy is particularly effective in helping children rebuild trust and develop emotional awareness after trauma. Cognitive behavioral play therapy is a directive approach. This therapy combines cognitive behavioral techniques with play, using structured activities to address specific thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Techniques such as role-playing and modeling help children recognize and change maladaptive patterns. For example, a therapist might use puppets or action figures to reenact scenarios, teaching the child adaptive ways to respond to challenges. Cognitive behavioral play therapy is especially useful for children who need structured guidance to develop coping strategies. The decision between these approaches depends largely on the child's individual needs. If the child requires a nurturing environment to rebuild trust, child-centered play therapy may be the better option. Alternatively, if the child benefits from structured guidance and clear strategies, cognitive behavioral play therapy could be more effective. This research has significant impacts for my future work as hopefully a child therapist. Understanding the strengths and limitations of child-centered play therapy and cognitive behavioral play therapy readies me to tailor therapy to each child's unique needs. For example, I might use child-centered play therapy to provide a nurturing space for children needing to rebuild trust, or cognitive behavioral play therapy to teach specific skills to those struggling with behaviors linked to trauma. Additionally, this research underscores the importance of flexibility and reflexivity in therapy. Therapists must be aware of their own competencies and biases to provide the most effective care. By integrating evidence-based practices and involving caregivers, I aim to create a holistic approach that promotes long-term healing and well-being for children affected by relational trauma. In conclusion, my research highlights the effectiveness of play therapy in addressing relational trauma. Both child-centered play therapy and cognitive behavioral play therapy offer valuable tools for helping children develop secure attachments. The choice of therapy depends on the child's individual needs and the therapist's ability, but both approaches emphasize the importance of creating a safe, supportive environment. Thank you for taking the time to listen about my research.